I built a Lego set for every day of November 2025. Now, why did I do this to myself? One is because I wanted more of my closet back. Two is because I wanted to get caught up on so much of my backlog of sealed sets. I didn't even have to buy any sets for this challenge. That is how many I had to build already, and there is still more to build. Going into this challenge I didn't really know what to expect besides the thought of myself needing more shelves. I realized and learned a lot from this. Over the course of this challenge, my plan was to do little update shorts throughout the month to show what sets I have built. This happened for the 1st through the 7th, and then the 8th through the 14th. Reality started setting in though through the reminders of the other responsibilities and obligations I get to have outside of the hobby, which is a big reason why I'm thankful for making this challenge, where I need to have 30 sets built by the end of November rather than having to build a set every day. I get to have a 9-to-5 job. I get to go to church. I get to go to Bible study. I get to be involved in children's and youth ministries. I get to have time with my family and friends. I get to do other things that take up my time, and I am thankful for that. If you did see the 2 update shorts I made, then you know what the first 14 sets were that I built. If you didn't, don't worry, because I will do a recap as well as go over the 16 other sets I built that you don't know yet. Any guesses onto what all 30 sets are? Let's take a look at them. November 1st through the 7th. On the first day of November, to my collection was added the Onyx Cinder. Released August 2024, retailed for $139.99, and parts of the Star Wars theme. This set is based on the live-action Disney Plus Star Wars series Skeleton Crew. The design of this ship hits me differently than other ships we have seen from that galaxy far, far away. I do really like it, and probably not far from something I would design if I had the opportunity to. With great minifigures and a great feature of the engines turning for landing or flying, it does capture the show well. However, I was quite shocked when I saw the size of the build. You can barely fit the minifigures of the children in the main area, and cannot comfortably fit the regular sized minifigure. An aspect of these sets used to be being able to fit all of the minifigures in them, as well as more if you have them in your collection. On the 2nd day of November, to my collection was added the Creeper. Released June 2025, and it was retailed for $39.99 and part of the Minecraft theme. This set has you building the infamous mob from the game by Mojang, the Creeper. This build was fantastic, and even though the small 1x1 tile pieces were a pain to place over and over, it really makes the difference in this set. There are also secrets within the Creeper's head. On the 3rd day of November, to my collection was added the Blacktron Renegade. Released January 2025, retailed for $99.99 and part of the Icons theme. This has got to be one of the best price sets we have ever gotten since the battle packs from LEGO Star Wars in the years of 2009 through 2013. The building experience was good. Not the best, but good. The modularity of the build is very nice, and you even have an alternate build you could create instead of the main one. The biggest quality that stood out for me was the story of the set. They are the villains, and this set makes them seem very difficult to face. On the 4th day of November, to my collection was added Boarding the Tantive 4. Released in March of 2024, it retailed for $54.99 and part of the Star Wars theme. A really cool build and building experience. The stickers in this set are a good example of pieces that should just be printed. I love the door that Darth Vader and his stormtroopers come in through. The ARC Trooper 5's minifigure for the 25th anniversary is also a nice addition. On the 5th day of November, to my collection was added Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. Released August of 2022, it retailed for $29.99 and part of the Star Wars theme. I'm not gonna lie, I believe that LEGO had the perfect design for this Jedi Starfighter back in 2011 with Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter. Don't fix what is not broken. The minifigures were decent in this set, as was the building experience. Finally, having a Kaminoan minifigure is such a wonderful sight to see. The 6th day of November to my collection was added, Bark Speeder Escape. Released May of 2024, retailed for $29.99 and part of the Star Wars theme. Simple design and a simple experience. The Keller and Beck minifigure is the reason why you get this set, and it does not disappoint. The speeder is similar to the one back in 2013 from the Clone Wars series, but instead of a sidecar being for a turret, it is for Grogu's tram. On the 7th day of November, to my collection was added, the Dark Trooper Attack. Released March 2022, retailed for $34.99 and part of the Star Wars theme. Very much so an overpriced set, but a really good set. The build to emulate Luke Skywalker's own hallway scene, destroying the Dark Troopers, is phenomenal. The minifigures themselves are really fine additions to add to my collection. On the 8th day of November, to my collection was added the Twin Vector. Released in 2018, retailed for $19.99 and part of the Nexo Knights theme. This was an odd build, but yet somehow enjoyable. Nexo Knights was a unique theme, and judging by this set alone, had some interesting designs. The minifigures look really cool as well, as all the different items this line seems to give them. On the 9th day of November, to my collection was added Boba Fett's Throne Room. Released March 2022, it retailed for $99.99 and part of the Star Wars theme. What can I say about this set besides, I love it. It always seems like LEGO does a nice job when it comes to sets based on Tatooine. The architecture is soothing and bold. All the little details are amazing. There are even Rancor head stickers on either side of the throne. The building experience of this set may be my favorite from all 30 sets I built this month. It is awesome that we got 7 minifigures in this set, but more importantly, the diversity of minifigures in this set just screams George Lucas Star Wars to me. You have Boba Fett in his Mandalorian armor, Fennec Shand with wonderful printing on her torso and legs. Then we get 5 different alien species. The debut of a Thelan in the form of Thelan Dancer, with her big pink hair and beautiful white printing on her torso and legs. Debut of the Quarren species in the form of Quarren, with the color of his skin being a crustacean orange, also with some good printing. The return of the male Twi'lek in the form of Bib Fortuna, with his black robe printing and a wonderfully molded Twi'lek headpiece. The return of the Gamorrean Guard, and the return of the Weequay species. These give us many opportunities for customs, and I hope LEGO gives us even more alien species in the Star Wars theme. On the 10th day of November, to my collection was added the Avengers Endgame Final Battle. Released June 2021, retailed for $69.99 and part of the Marvel theme. Building this set, I was brought back to my favorite parts of Infinity War and Endgame, which were the ones with Thanos. The build of this set is alright with what is there, but I feel like they could have done more. Maybe take a page from the old school LEGO group and make 3 different sets that we as fans could have connected together if wanted, similar to the original Jabba's Palace in the Star Wars theme. All the minifigures represent the characters well, however, it is actually Thanos' own weapon that could have been better. I'm all for LEGO goofiness when it comes to sets, but that sword is too much. On the 11th day of November, to my collection was added the Coruscant Guard gunship. Released September 2023, retailed for $139.99 and part of the Star Wars theme. When going into this build, I was semi-biased because of the backlash this set got. After it was all done though, I decided that people need to stop having such high expectations and focus on themselves and the quality of their own work before trying to bash the quality of Legos. This set was really cool to build and looks really slick. The minifigures are awesome, aside from the printing on Commander Fox, which LEGO is sending replacements for, by the way, if you contact their customer service. So know that this set on shelves right now should have the fixed Commander Fox, so his printing can no longer be valid to bash LEGO. The only gripe I have with this set is the size. I have big, meaty claws. So to try to squeeze my fingers into smaller areas, that's what she said. To place minifigures can be a struggle. I wish that this set was larger by just about 8 or 9 studs. In my opinion, that would make it so much better. Aside from that, very nice indeed. On the 12th day of November, to my collection was added the Tournament of Elements. Released January 2021, it retailed for $29.99 and part of the Ninjago theme. I think for the price and how many minifigures you get in this, the size of the build is alright. It would have been awesome to get this, but on a much bigger scale, but it works. The build is cool in its own ways. There are some interesting styles being used to build this and insert details into it as well. The minifigures are always so good in the Ninjago theme. I can't think of a theme that has better ones. On the 13th day of November, to my collection was added Zurg Battle. Released in April 2022, retailed for $34.99 and is part of the Lightyear Disney licensed theme. I have always loved Zurg since I was a child. I remember the old Buzz Lightyear cartoon that used to be a thing back in the day. The movie itself was not that, but this set is also not that. It is cool that they included different heads for the 2 minifigures, but this could have been so much better. My biggest gripe with this set is how unstable the joints are for Zurg. His knees give out very easily, and he'll slump over just from the slightest breeze. Destroy Buzz Lightyear. And this set. On the 14th day of November, to my collection was added the Mighty Dinosaurs. Released in 2017, it retailed for $14.99 and part of the Creator 3-in-1 theme. For this, I chose to build the Triceratops option of the 3 options. It's a nice small build of a Triceratops. I even had my sig fig riding it around. Very cool little set. On the 15th day of November, to my collection was added the Justifier. Released August 2022, it retailed for $169.99 and part of the Star Wars theme. This set, being one of the only 2 from the Bad Batch series, is definitely an interesting one. Sure, this set debuted Todo 360, Cad Bane's little service droid companion, but it doesn't make up for the fact that I actually felt robbed after building this set. There are really cool elements within this set, like the different treasures Bane has and the Ray Shield prison he kept Omega in. Alas, all of that is crammed to the front of the ship, for 80% of the build is for the feature of the engine depot moving up and down to signify docked and flying positions. I miss when sets this size would have those features and also have room for minifigures comfortably. On the 16th day of November, to my collection was added the Inquisitor Transport Scythe. Released August 2022, it retailed for $99.99 and is part of the Star Wars theme. This is also one of those sets based off of a series, that being the Kenobi series. The minifigures are outstanding in my opinion, and the build is really good too. For this being the price it is, the amount of space in the ship is as I expected. I do really like this one. On the 17th day of November, to my collection was added the Imperial Armored Marauder. Released August 2021, it retailed for $39.99 and is part of the Star Wars theme. The minifigures are okay at best, but this build is so tiny that you cannot stand anyone up in the carrier. This is a design that was definitely downsized, and I am very disappointed by that. On the 18th day of November, to my collection was added the Overlord Dragon. Released January 2021, it retailed for $29.99 and is part of the Ninjago theme. This set was also in a Ninjago 3-in-1 gift set that retailed for $25, which is how I got mine. This is another example of how Ninjago is peak Lego, and all the other themes should be taking notes. The dragon build is very nice for the piece counts and looks very menacing as well. The 2 minifigures are detailed quite nicely, and I am really impressed with this set. On the 19th day of November, to my collection was added Venom. Released April 2021, it retailed for $69.99 and is part of the Marvel theme. This is a bust set, which is a type of set where you are building a sculpture of something rather than a play set with minifigures. When I was at the beginning stages of building this set, I was getting frustrated with how weak the neck of the build was. Over time, it becomes strengthened and supports the head well. I will say that the eyebrows for Venom did not match up for me like it was being shown. I ended up needing to move 2 pieces in order to even fit them on. This was most likely an error from myself, but something to note. Overall, this set was a good build, but I have no wants to rebuild it again or something like it again. On the 20th day of November, to my collection was added the police station, released January 2022. It retailed for $69.99 and part of the city theme. This set was a good time to build. I liked all the different elements of police things that are there. Even a prison break. There is even dog poo by where the canine training course is. Now that is attention to detail. The build is fragile if trying to handle it by picking it up. The points of caution would be where the small ladder is by the catwalk going to the helipad, and the back bulkier piece by the red and white entry station. This set is supposed to be able to easily connect to your own city if you are building one. Overall, it's a nice little fragile build. On the 21st day of November, to my collection was added the Oni Titan. Released June 2018, it retailed for $49.99 and is part of the Ninjago theme. Just like dragons, Ninjago does mechs and mech-like builds well. The minifigures in this set are always a delight to see, although it seems like Lloyd is being used quite a lot, maybe even more than the other ninja. Lord Garmadon is classified as a resurrected form, and it looks pretty cool. He has 2 basic katanas and then 2 staffs that look like they could do some serious damage. The Oni Titan has an incredible design. He even has a waist cape. Take that, you bucket heads. He wields 2 swords of his own, and you can even sheath them on his side. There is a lot of posability, and overall, another glorious example of how Ninjago is the GOAT of Lego. On the 22nd day of November, to my collection was added Jay's Golden Dragon motorbike. Released June 2022, it retailed for $19.99 and is part of the Ninjago theme. This is a nice little set from the crystallized storyline of the series. Jay has a fantastic golden dragon armoring and his golden motorbike. The Crystal Soldier, or the Vengestone Warrior, is such a cool minifigure. Then it has one of the spider drones to assist the warrior in his fight against Jay. Another fine Ninjago addition to my collection. On the 23rd day of November, to my collection was added the Sky Tower. Released June 2021, it retailed for $59.99 and is part of the Minecraft theme. I do love the game of Minecraft, and I actually do like the mobs known as the Phantoms. This set is a cool way to show what a sky tower would look like if someone were to build it in the game. That is the thing with these kinds of Minecraft sets. Unless it is a spawned structure that Mojang designed, the limits the set designers have for these are absent. As long as it looks like it could be done in the game, it's good. This is just another example of what someone's imagination looks like. On the 24th day of November, to my collection was added the Crystal Cane. Released June 2022, it retailed for $79.99 and is part of the Ninjago theme. Another set with Lloyd and Harumi fighting each other. Those lovebirds. We have a Vengestone Warrior and a Vengestone Guard that is, of course, under the command of the Crystal Cane, or others know him as the Overlord. The build itself is a form that the king can take on. It has 4 legs, 2 arms, wings, gold trim, and a giant staff. The Crystal Cane minifigure can actually fit inside the build, which is pretty nice. Such a cool set. On the 25th day of November, to my collection was added Obi-Wan Kenobi vs. Darth Vader. Released August 2022, it retailed for $49.99 and is part of the Star Wars theme. It may be a platform, but it's my platform. This platform of a build does have some nice depth and detail to it. You can pull back part of it to unveil orange pieces to symbolize fire. There is a cart of fiery orange pieces that can be popped over. You can even practice those DJ turntable moves with this set. There is also a little peaked area to put the definitely not a traitor female Imperial officer Captain Tala Darith onto so she can protect, assist in the apprehension of Kenobi. You also have a unique minifigure being Ned B, a loader droid, in this set. He has a wrench. It may just be a platform, but remember that platforms are the stages that are played most in Super Smash Bros. On the 26th day of November, to my collection was added the Pirate Snub Fighter. Released May 2023, it retailed for $34.99 and is part of the Star Wars theme. I enjoyed this little set and building experience. The fighter is a cool design and isn't overly complex nor too bland. The two minifigures are also pretty cool, with the first one, Snub Fighter Pilots, utilizing styles from the Rebel pilots of the Rebel Alliance, and then the second, Vane, really giving off that if Pirates of the Caribbean was a sci-fi vibe. Really good, and looks really stylish next to the Onyx Cinder. On the 27th day of November, to my collection was added Venomized Groot. Released August 2023, it retailed for $49.99 and is part of the Marvel theme. This is a set similar to that Venom Bust set I mentioned earlier, but in this case, it is a buildable character set instead. These types of sets are where you build out an entire character for display and some play function, and sometimes they will also come with a minifigure as well. In the case of Venomized Groot, no minifigure. There are two options of building this set as well. You have the partially venomized and then the fully venomized. The instruction booklet for this set shows you how to construct the partially venomized, and if you want to build the fully venomized version, then you must go to the Builders app and follow the digital instructions. I am not a fan of trying to move all the instructions to a digital platform. I can already see the people trying to squint and see the pieces they need while trying to deal with their eyes being strained and getting tired of losing their blue light filter glasses or computer glasses. This build is also a goofy one, and I am all for it. There were some moments while building this set that I did grow some frustration. One of those moments were with the head of Venomized Groot. The joint pieces seem to be all fine, and so far I have had no issues with them not holding their position. On the 28th day of November, to my collection was added the ATST Raider. Released October 2019, it retailed for $49.99 and is part of the Star Wars theme. I was hesitant on even building this one, but I did it anyways. My thoughts on it are, it's pretty cool, aside from all the stickers. There are way too many stickers involved in this set. I like the ATST though, and all the different mounted turrets on it. It looking like it was refurbished from scrap salvage is very clear. It does have a cockpit for a driver, even though I always thought that this was a drone and didn't need a driver. The way they portrayed it in Season 1 of the Mandalorian series is why I say this. The 4 minifigures in this set are also cool. We have good old Mando, of course, along with Cara Dune, who is a cancelled character, and then 2 Klatooinian Raiders who own the ATST vehicle. It would be nice to have these walkers be able to move their legs forwards for once though. On the 29th day of November, to my collection was added Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter Microfighter. Released June 2025, it retailed for $14.99 and is part of the Star Wars theme. I like the microfighters, but not more than the Planet series we used to get that started in 2012. This little build is decent for what it is and what it represents. You do get an astromech droid head for it, as well as a clip on the bottom for Plo Koon's lightsaber. Plo Koon has a nice new head mold and is looking like a true Jedi. On the 30th day of November, to my collection was added the Creative Animal Drawer. Released January 2023, it retailed for $24.99 and is part of the Dots theme. Now I know that this is completely different compared to other sets on this list. The reason I chose this set though is because it was one that my one niece could help me with. It was simple because to make the basic drawer, the parts aren't that small, and she was able to help put some together. This set is one where you create a drawer, which was also fascinating to me. Her and I also put some pieces all around it randomly, so it doesn't look like an animal, it's more abstract. So 30 days have come and gone. Out of all 30 of those days, I built sets from the themes of Star Wars, Minecraft, Icons, Nexo-Knights, Marvel, Dots, Creator 3-in-1, Disney, City, and Ninjago. Of those themes were built 14 Star Wars, 2 Minecraft, 1 Icons, 1 Nexo-Knights, 3 Marvel, 1 Dots, 1 Creator 3-in-1, 1 Disney, 1 City, and 5 Ninjago sets. Before I get into ranking all of these sets from favorite to hate it, I want to mention some interesting things I noticed overall when it came to these sets. First is going to be the fact that instruction manuals are not the same in terms of coloring. There were many manuals that would show the color red differently. Some looked like orange, and some looked like as if someone took the brightness of the instructions and dropped it down by 20%. I also had my middle page for the Bark Speeder Escape fall out because the staple didn't go through the paper. Second is the sticker sheets seemed to be poorly cut. I had some stickers peel off, and because of the cut, they were very off-centered. The AT-ST Raider is one that comes to my mind quickly thinking back on these sticker issues. Now let me go ahead and rank these from favorite to hate it, starting at number 30. Disney's Lightyear Zurg Battle. There are too many issues with this set, with the biggest one being, it just shouldn't have been sent through quality control, if quality control exists for the LEGO Disney themes. 29. Star Wars Imperial Armored Marauder. This vehicle is a troop and cargo carrier above all else. You can't even stand figures up to even remotely enjoy that key aspect. 28. Star Wars The Justifier. The minifigures are really cool in this set, but it doesn't change the fact that I feel robbed after completing it. There was so much room available, and nothing was done with it. Sure, the mechanisms for the docked and flying modes are cool, but we have gotten features like this before without it taking so much of the build. 27. Star Wars Onyx Cinder. Although I do love the design of the ship and of the minifigures and even the show's skeleton crew, I liked. The size of this ship is what did it for me. Not being able to comfortably fit minifigures into a set should never be possible. This is where we must exclaim to ourselves, think of the children. 26. Nexo-Knights Twinfector. This set definitely shows what it is supposed to be. It is cool, it is unique. But I think some of the piece options for certain parts of the vehicle could have used a touch-up. 25. Marvel Venom. Although the bus sets have had people go mad claw for them, I don't see it. This is the one set that kept breaking on me when I was trying to build it, and I still don't see how a few of the pieces are supposed to line up. Still most likely my own error. 24. City Police Station. The fragileness of this set is what worries me. I could see that it would be stronger if placed into a city like it says it can do. On its own though, you have to be more careful moving it compared to other sets. 23. Star Wars AT-ST Raider. I really want more from these walker builds that the Star Wars design department and LEGO have been giving us. The legs should be able to be posed in positions of walking forward and backward. This is a common design issue we have. I remember the 501st ATRT from 2013 having the same issues. The stickers were also cut weird, and there were too many stickers in general. 22. Ninjago Tournament of Elements. Although I do love Ninjago, I was hoping for more from the build itself. There is not a lot of room for all the minifigures, which are amazing by the way, and definitely could have been in a much better position with an additional 100 pieces. 21. Marvel Avengers Endgame Final Battle. I feel like this set was overpriced and could have thrown another 300 pieces or so to make it so much better. It is not a bad set, it is just not better than the rest of the sets out of these 30. Number 20. Star Wars Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter Microfighter. This microfighter is not at all the best one LEGO Star Wars has made, but this is the best Plo Koon made. I do have an issue with the gap between the main body of the starfighter and the wings. No gap probably would have made the top 5. 19. Star Wars Bark Speeder Escape. When it comes to Star Wars and speeders, I wish I could have it higher on the list. There is not much diversity with the speeders we have been given by LEGO in terms of speeders. It is always a Bark Speeder or a Land Speeder. We do have times where we get a Mandalorian Speeder, Scout Trooper Speeder, and the Stap. I hope we can get some new designs in the future like we have had in the past with so many battle packs. 18. Ninjago Jay's Golden Dragon Motorbike. This is a good set, especially with the resources and element designs Ninjago has. I will say though that we have gotten many types of motorbikes in Ninjago, and this one may be high on the list of those, but not the highest. Great minifigures, and I do like the dragon armor. Number 17. Dot's Creative Animal Drawer. Although I had a great time building this one with one of my nieces, it is just a drawer. However, it does exactly as expected and designed to do. It completely covers in plates, so you can do any type of art you want on the outside of it. Very cool indeed. Number 16. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. I feel like this set is the line between the good and the bad when it comes to these 30 sets. This set is alright, but I do think LEGO Star Wars should just do a copy and paste of Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter from 2011 for all of their Jedi Starfighter needs in the future. 15. Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi vs. Darth Vader. Although this set does include two of the most iconic characters in Star Wars, Fire and the Turntable, and also Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, it is a nice platform, but this isn't Super Smash Bros. 14. Star Wars Dark Trooper Attack. Although the scene this set is based off of is so phenomenal, compared to some of these other sets, it's not better than them. 13. Star Wars Pirate Snub Fighter. Man, oh man, do I love this set. The further up I go with this list, the more difficult it gets. This set is that perfect piece to have in that background shot. 12. Marvel Venomized Groot. This goofy looking fella is pretty cool, but also has a few frustrating pieces that like to fall off. However, it is more frustrating that you have to download an app just to build the alternate version of this set. Did Marvel not learn from Creator 3-in-1? 11. Star Wars Boarding Tantive 4. Although the set shows the OG Star Wars scene and has great minifigures, it doesn't have that in-awe feeling. Iconic? Yes. But there is more for nostalgia in this set than anything, especially factoring in the ARC Trooper 5's minifigure. Even LEGO recommends that you buy 2 of these to get a fuller effect. You shouldn't have to pay over $100 to get something you should have gotten for $40. 10. Star Wars Coruscant Guard Gunship. With the only issue I have with this set being that it should have been 7 to 8 studs bigger all around, I do like this set and gladly welcome it to the start of the top 10. 9. Ninjago Overlord Dragon. Such a cool set and bigger than expected. The Overlord Dragon would have been number 1 if it wasn't for a couple of the joint pieces for the neck having slight trouble keeping position. The details and design of the set are extraordinary, and the minifigures are so on point. 8. Star Wars Inquisitor Transport Scythe. Wonderful minifigures and a wonderful build. The main area having computer screens, and the way they did them are very cool. And room for all the Inquisitors is an incredible and now rare sight to see. It all goes nicely with each other. 7. Icons Blacktron Renegade. By far the best price set of 2025. Although best price doesn't always mean best set. The building experience was definitely a unique one, and the modularity is inspirational. All of this encompasses the fact that this is for the villains, which is pretty cool. 6. Star Wars Boba Fett's Throne Room. The architecture of Tatooine is something LEGO should make its own theme entirely. This set shows true legendary attributes of what George Lucas wanted to see in Star Wars. Aliens, and more different kinds of aliens. This set delivered on that in more ways than one. 5. Minecraft Creeper. No explanation needed. 4. Creative 3-in-1. Mighty Dinosaurs. Truthfully, I think the 3-in-1 theme is the best one LEGO has offered. It gives the person other options to build using the same pieces in the box. Some options may leave you with more extra pieces than others, but that's okay. It is a gateway to try to show people that a limitless amount of options are there for these pieces, if only you could see it. Number 3. Minecraft The Sky Tower. What can I say except Imagination. This set is something that has no source material except Minecraft itself. Although a licensed theme, LEGO Minecraft is a theme where your imagination and creativity can soar beyond the limits and into the far lands. Number 2. Ninjago Oni Titan. The Oni Titan is a legend to behold. This set has so many awesome qualities about it, from the ability to sheath the swords, the waist cape, and even shooting discs from its wrists. The posability of this set is so close to being perfect, but the head of the Titan seems somewhat strenuous to maneuver. Not by much, but still there. Number 1. Ninjago Crystal King. This is the phenom of LEGO Ninjago. LEGO has actually given us a Crystal King in the past, but that was for the Power Miners theme. This has no resemblance to that one though, which was a small concerning thought when this set was rumored. LEGO did this right with having such a beautifully menacing design. When you see this, you see villainy in power, strength, and resourcefulness. It seems colossal next to the average minifigure. From every detail through this build, it stands out in every collection, for it is the Crystal King. Now, I know that there will be people who will disagree with me on this list and even try pointing out how bad this set sold according to this website, or how much less this set has gone up in value compared to this set, or just by saying Ninjago is stupid, and if there are people who are fans of Ninjago, they don't actually exist. This is all in my opinion from building the sets. I held no bias towards or against any certain theme. If you believe you could do better, then go do what you wouldn't when you had the thoughts of just building your own ATOT with Republic Dropship instead of spending $2,000 on a sealed one, and do it. I challenge you, go and do it. By either ranking this list of 30 sets specifically, or doing a month challenge just like this one for yourself. Go and build a LEGO set for every day of a month, from sealed to built. Then simply do something like I have. Write it all down, your thoughts and opinions. Rank those sets specifically without bias, and make a video to put it all together. After doing this challenge, I recognized some things I never had before. The first is that although all of these elements come from LEGO, not everything that is built with them is good. There were some builds that got the signal across, but did it in ways that were lazy or underwhelming. Meanwhile, there were times when the ways these elements were being placed were eye-opening and inspiring. This is an important quality to see and understand because this is how I, as the builder, actually see the designer of the set. I follow the steps they have decided to be good enough to be etched in stone. The styles, the utilization of different sized pieces, and how they all fit together all show the work ethic of the designer and how much they care about the product. If a designer is simply doing this just to do it, it shows. This is to be said about if a designer is choosing to cut corners, whether by self or company mandate, it shows. I have also seen something clearer than ever before, and that is that every LEGO theme is treated and handled differently. There is a major contrast between all of the themes. It all starts with what that theme is, original or licensed. Original themes such as Ninjago, Dots, Space Police, Power Miners, Legends of Shima, Monster Hunters, and even the legendary Bionicle are great examples of how the original themes get treated. They are given unique designs of builds and minifigures as well as some of the best sets the LEGO community as a whole will ever see, all just to get crapped on by what seems to be the entire LEGO community, but in all actuality, by the LEGO content creators. I mean, the LEGO YouTubers. Licensed themes like Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, and Disney are themes that are being bolstered up by certain so-called content creators and with their influence, their fans, to be the greatest of all-time themes that LEGO has ever produced, while bashing LEGO for how poorly of a job they have done, living with these mentalities of negativity towards these themes while still buying them, reviewing them, and adding more and more negative rhetoric because that is all they can do anymore, because they cannot see the positive or understand how to be in the joy they used to be in, because their hobby never changed, but their passion for it was exterminated and devoured and replaced with pride, greed, entitlement, and no self-worth and no self-love. Their creativity and imagination have been cast aside to be replaced with numbers and analytics. Where they see these elements, pieces, and bricks, they see investments, dollar signs, and the need to be represented by these plastic creations. Meanwhile, these plastic creations just look back and question, where is the person I used to know?
Hey guys, this is General Rex 1 here. I'm going to show you a third Lego set review. This is another Lego Star Wars one, the Genos and Starfighter from 2011.
The original themes are not being affected like the licensed ones are. The price increases, the downsizing, the box art, and the need for a full representation are mainly going towards the licensed themes because that is exactly the kind of market and system you have created. Most of the licensed themes are owned by the monopoly known as the Walt Disney Company. And while people are so focused on pointing fingers and blaming Lego or blaming this person on YouTube or this guy or that guy, you are just feeding the pockets of Mickey Mouse and the pockets of Likewise, and all you are getting from it is nothing but transactions being made to buy more of it while it just sits there and you do nothing with it because it's an investment. An investment that you crap on today, but in 2 years will be praising and getting people to go to your store to buy them for a very high price while you did nothing. This is not an investment. An investment was shown clearly in the Bible. The parable of the master giving a servant 5 coins. Another he gave 3, and the last he gave 1. Master left, and the servant he gave 5 to went out and was able to multiply those 5 coins, doubling the amount he was given. The servant with 3 coins also went out and multiplied them by triple. The third servant, though, the one who was given only 1 coin, held on to it. Didn't do anything with it, but store it somewhere because they didn't want to lose it. The day the master came back to see his servants, he was amazed at the servant he gave 5 coins to, and doubled that amount. He was amazed at the servant he gave 3 coins to, and they tripled that amount. He got to the last servant that he gave only 1 coin to, and the servant showed that 1 coin, exclaiming that they kept it safe and held on to it, just in case. The master was furious, even stating that this servant could have at least tried something to get his investment back. That servant was cast out. Just sitting on something in the hopes it may do something is still doing nothing. Doing nothing is apathy. Apathy is death.
Apathy is death. Apathy is death.
Original themes are being hated by people who lack creativity and imagination. Those people will lean more towards the licensed themes because those mean major interest from other communities and fandoms, ways to talk poorly on Lego through finished product and source material, having possible platform because of the immediate interest by those fandoms, and a way to profit off of reviewing, bashing, praising, and acting interested in other people's work, all while never doing any work of your own. Remember something though, in that parable, there was only 1 servant who did nothing. There were 2 who did something with what they were given. The ones who actually work and who actually do things will outnumber the ones who don't. With Lego being a hobby about creativity and imagination, I believe these licensed themes and these so-called content creators who have not done original content since becoming monetized are becoming a major hindrance on this great hobby. A major reminder that I noticed during this challenge is that if you don't like what is built, then change it. If you want something made out of Lego pieces, but Lego hasn't made it before, then build it yourself. If you want an old Lego set but can't afford it because the price for it is through the roof, then build it. Why would I waste my money on a sealed ATO2 with a public dropship, or a sealed Trade Federation multi-troop transport, paying thousands of dollars, when I could just build it myself from the other sets I have and or from the multitudes of random pieces I have. If I download the instructions from Lego for free and follow the steps exactly and use the pieces listed, do I own that set? If I have an idea of how to make my own version of a turbo tank out of Lego and build it, don't I own a turbo tank? When we purchase a set, is it a set you own? Or is it a bunch of pieces that you used to simply assemble a suggested build with those pieces? I hold two 2x4 red bricks. Tell me which one is from the first wave Clone Wars themed Star Wars sets, and which one is from the first wave of the Ninjago Rise of the Snakes sets. Imagination and creativity are the key components to this hobby. There are a lot of people in this community who demonstrate and utilize their creativity and imaginations through the likes of stop motion, alternate builds, and mocks. Has Lego ever made a bad set? Yes, multiple. Has Lego ever made a good set? Yes, multiple. Is it as bad as people make it out to be? No. Because in the grand scheme of things, when you purchase a Lego set, you are purchasing a certain amount of Lego elements, pieces, and bricks, and they give you an option of what you could build, sometimes more than one option. But you can build whatever you want, licensed, Lego original, or your own original. Don't let the voice of negativity outweigh your joy. After building a Lego set for every day of November 2025, this is what I learned. Have an awesome, God-blessed day. Rex out.